Hello everyone, welcome back to Royal Alchemist. We are on, I believe, week 30. I almost pressed start again. Let's not do that. Yeah, week 30. Items requested. We got that. So far we have servant's approval. More. Ooh, 844. I think today or this week we'll do a mission. Crystals. Okay, we can do that one as well. Let's do crystals, because that sounds fun. Miners of Selphos have recently found rare, unidentified crystals. Although they are beautiful, it's unknown whether or not the crystals contain toxic or dangerous alchemical attributes. Thus, before one of his routine visits to the mining town, Prince Orleus invited me on the journey to identify them. Upon arriving, I was presented with the crystal itself. It is truly magnificent. Although it's a common clear white color, it has a unique internal cracking that gives it depth, and under its sunlight, it sparkles with all the shades of the rainbow. Okay, wait. Clear white color. And then shades of the rainbow. Is it opal? Sounds like opal. Zelphlos has its fair share of quartz mines. Thus, it would have been easy to dismiss the crystal as an exotic variant of such. But I had to make sure it wasn't dangerous. I joined Prince Orleus in visiting the villagers, asking questions about the mine and the crystals, while the prince did his duties in his own particular way. I learned that the crystals had been discovered near a recently excavated quartz mine. Convincing, but it wasn't enough. I asked to test the sample. I insisted that the prince join me, as this was a valuable learning experience. Surprisingly, or perhaps not, he agreed. Intelligence, yes. Before testing began, I asked for a sample of simple, clear quartz, as well for if this unknown crystal was truly a variant, they would have similar properties. Thank heavens I did too, as the alchemy supplies I had hand were limited. Luckily, given the extra sample, I was able to determine the mystery crystal was indeed a form of common quartz, albeit a very, very pretty one. On another note, despite outward appearances, Prince Orleus was quite an attentive student. It is pretty. Natural curiosity and relentless logic make for a good combination, I suppose, though I couldn't do without the occasional glare. After our experiments were over, he quickly informed the villagers that the crystal was completely safe, and the villagers rejoiced. Rightly so, since this will be a good source of income for the town. In return for my help, a local jeweler fashioned me a handsome pendant made of the crystal in question. The nobles caught sight of it upon my return to the palace, and since then the crystal has bloomed in popularity. Yay! Lady Rosencreutz? Oh, I know, okay. Saul has entered my study and is standing before me, hands clasped demurely in front. Good morning, Sala. What is it? The Lord Regent is without. He wishes to see you on a matter of considerable importance. I see. Show him in, please. Right away, Lady Rosencruz. She bows and slips as quietly out of the room as she came in. I lean back against a chair, the beginning of a frown creasing my brows. What on earth can it be about? Your Grace, Lady Rosencruz? I rise from my seat as the Lord Regent, his face a little more lined than when he first met at the ball, but still as upright and kind as ever, enters the room. My lord, how may I be of service? Please, sit down. I will be just a moment. Sala, may we take some tea? Certainly, Your Grace. With another graceful bow, she withdraws from the room, closing the door silently behind her. Now the Lord Regent and I are alone. Our eyes meet, and he smiles. Let's sit down. We do. From outside drift the faint chimes of chinaware clinking as Sala prepares tea. I have never been in this room before. You have made it into a very nice study. Thank you, Your Grace. May I be so bold to ask what brings you here? When you have instructions, you usually convey them to me by Raphael. The Lord Regent laughs softly. Drugged as ever, young Rosencruz. No wonder you do not get along with some of our nobility. Does this have something to do with them again? No, not this time. Not ours and not directly. My lord? The matter which I have come to see you about is somewhat delicate. It concerns the kingdom's relationship with Maureen. Negotiations with the ambassadors from Maureen, as I understand, are going well. The ambassadors are pleased with the reception we have arranged for them. Just so, and yet, do you know the dictum? A nation can have neither internal friends nor perpetual enemies, only eternal and perpetual interests. I begin to see. Of course, it is Esquia's interest to keep its interest aligned with Maren's, especially during this time of troubles. Maren can be a very useful friend, or a very dangerous enemy to us. They are, from a military point of view, considerably our superior, and in terms of population, they outnumber us 3-1. We must remember the relationship between our two kingdoms have not been always smooth. Does Marin have interest and wishes Esquia to advance? The Regent chuckles. You put it so boldly. Bodily? Boldly. Bodily. Our diplomats would be quite disconcerted. The fact is this. Last evening, after we were about to conclude a formal treaty of mutual tariff reduction, the formidable Lady Gabrielle suddenly confided in me, in terms of strictest confidentiality. At this point, the Regent clamps his mouth shut. Sal pushes a tray in, begins bustling around us, sending up teacups and sandwiches. Soon, the aromatic fragrance of freshly brewed tea leaves suffuses the air. Thank you, Sala. You may leave now. Thank you, Lady Rosencrantz. Not until Sala's footfalls fade away does the Regent speak again. In terms of strictest confidentiality, so not even Sala or Raphael shall know of this. I understand, my lord. Good. You have heard of the Sval? But who hasn't? The pirates of the uttermost north? Even we have a hard time extending our reach over them. I chuckle at the memory of the legends I used to read as a child, of the Savalic Sea Kings, their fantastical explorations and gory duels. Then I remember the subject of the conversation. The Sval are involved in Eskia? As I said, not directly. According to Lady Gabrielle, the king of Maran remains committed to stamping out slavery within his kingdom. However, before this generation, I believe Maran also participated in dealing with thralls? Yes. It wasn't until the current king was crowned that slavery was abolished in Maran. But what does that have to do with us? The late king of Eskia, my brother-in-law, was a determined supporter of Maran's campaign. Not out of self-interest, you understand, but as a matter of principle. I believe he stated slavery and the Sval slave traders to the core. What did I say? I believe he hated slavery and the Sval slave traders to the core. Oh. In close coordination, the two monarchs had been able to outlaw the possession of thralls within their realms and ban slave trading. But now that the late king of Eskia is no longer here, the system is breaking down. Trade in thralls, especially in Marinian territory, is on the rise again. And a trader, one of the worst offenders is thrall trafficking, will take the sea route with a cargo full of slaves around the Eskian coast. How do you know this? I do not. Lady Gabrielle would not reveal to me the sources of her intelligence, but she assured me they are perfectly credible. To where is this thrall master bound? To the capital of Maran. After they arrive, there is nothing much we can do. The fortresses may not be entered unbidden, not even the king himself. Their capital is reached more easily from our ports by the sea than by the mountains, which are tall, inhospitable, and closely guarded by the king's men. But would not tall, inhospitable mountains offer the ideal refuge? Hard-to-reach hiding places, networks of smugglers and bandits ready to lend a hand? Our thrallmaster cannot. His merchandise, you see, are too delicate. They cannot make the rough route crossing. They will not work. Sorry, I got too excited and I clicked too soon. A horrible thought is dawning on me. Oh wait, can I? Okay. They will break. His merchandise, you see, are too delicate. They cannot make the mountain crossing. They will break. I don't know how to get out. I'll return. That makes sense. A horrible thought is dawning upon me. You mean... Yes, his thralls are all children. The regent looks sadly away, and I shudder. So, you want me to catch him? Yes. Hand him back to the Maranians? Lady Gabrielle stressed me how very obliged they would be to us if they do. Pardon me, but why wouldn't the princes take over this task? Their father was obviously a major contributor to this campaign. I would have assumed them to be the same. The Lord Regent pauses. Sipping his tea, he considers for a while before sighing and speaking up again. It's not that they don't want to. However, recent events have made our political situation more uncertain. Recent events? Do you perhaps mean the royal hunt a few weeks ago? The Lord Regent nods. Soren told me you are aware of what really happened. We do not believe the stray arrow aimed at him to be from Counselor Gabrielle. However, you still want... However, you still haven't found the real culprit? Regrettably so. Orleus is personally leading the investigation. Even Seren is trying to find clues among the group of commoners present that day, but there hasn't been any progress so far. I should have known there were more reasons to Seren's unusual escapade. Now I see. You are not sure if the information about the slave trader may be a trap laid by Maren. Again, you put it so badly. But to be frank, yes. Oh, I guess that does say badly. If you were to send out the princes against a Saval, trying to do higher. If you were to send out the princes against the Saval Thrallmaster, it would be a declaration of hostility by the Eskian crown against the Saval, the Lord Regent odds. If it were to come to a war, not only would we be pressured by Maren from the south, but also by Saval from the north. So we cannot send the royal family forward. Whereas I, as a representative of High Council, which, as everyone knows, follows its own policies, I am less of a diplomatic liability, correct? I'm truly sorry, young Rosencruz. I wouldn't ask you to place yourself in danger if we truly had another choice. I understand. Then will you do it? I hesitate while the Regent watches me keenly. His expression gives me the shadow of a feeling that more is writing on my reply than he let on. Still, I hesitate. To intercept, fight, and capture a Saval Thrallmaster and his longship is no mean undertaking. The Savals are by reputation tall, strong, bloodthirsty, and cunning. They regard death in battle as the only certain route to paradise, and are consequently never reluctant to seek it. I am an alchemist and a tutor, not a war mage, much less a warrior. My arts are fundamentally the arts of peace and progress, not battle and destruction. Surviving the encounters with the assassins might have taught me a little of combat, but I know I am far from experienced with them. Unlike the Thrallmaster, I am being asked to... Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Unlike the Thrallmaster I am being asked to capture, who has probably spent his adult life sailing, killing, plundering, and raiding. If something goes wrong, he might kill me. Worse, he might break me and turn me into one of his thralls. But I think of the captive children who may not be freed if the traitor gets away with this. I think of my charges, the young princes forced into their father's footsteps, forced into living up to his reputation. And I think of Seren, who, even in the moments his life is in immediate danger, continuously tries to protect his subjects and keep peace. I slowly breathe out. I'll do it. You will? The Lord Regent's face is a picture of undisguised relief. That's excellent. Excellent. Thank you, really. Eskia is in your debt. I will need some time to prepare myself, a week or so, I should think. When will the Thrallmaster be sailing past Eskia? Also in a week. Lady Gabrielle, or other her agents through her, will alert us when the Saval longship is approaching. Good. For better or for worse, I have agreed to the Lord Regent's request. It's too late to worry about what might happen now. The only thing to do is prepare for it. Then I shall have my week to prepare. Of course, if you need any help from us, any of us, you need only to say so. There is indeed something. Speak. It is within my ability. I will grant it. I am aware the High Council garrison guards are busy investigating the Great King's assassination. However, they might not help me. The garrison here doesn't like me to begin with. However, this is too important for me to not ask them just because of my pride. May I borrow them for this undertaking? Of course. You are most kind, thank you. Would this be all? Yes, I mustn't take up more of your time. The Lord Regent stands up, and so do I. We shake hands. Lily, my lord? You're a good child. I'm glad you're the one the council sent to us. He turns around and walks out of my study, a little grayer, a little more lined, but as upright and kind as ever. Even though I am filled with trepidation of the expedition against the Saval Thrallmaster, I cannot quite control an insensible smile from spreading over my lips. Now, to my preparations. I have been working on this recipe for a while. It's time to test it out. A new recipe has been unlocked. Okay. Alchemy. What is this? Oh, lotus start. Light, water, fire. Water. I think. I think Sarin is light and fire. No, sorry, light and water. No. Let's see. 19 wood. Okay, no, he's wood and light. Who's the closest? Fire. No, because he doesn't have any water. Water. Oh, Orleus would just need 5. Right? Wait, return. Alchemy. Oh no, 50. Fire, water, light. I gotta remember that. Fire, water, light, fire, water, light. Fire, no. Water, no. Light, yes. Fire, yes. No water, no light. Fire, no. Water, yes. Light, no. Okay. Classes. Light. We'll just keep everything the same. Or maybe not. Soren needs the light. And then I guess we could do more fire for Nazir. And then Orleus will do light. Okay. We have a week to prepare. I don't know what that means, but 4, 8. 11? So that's good. Okay. Based on the intelligence provided by Lady Gabrielle, the slave dealer should be crossing the Isthmus by land rather than boat. All the same. That's our man? Oh, I didn't even get to prepare. What the heck? Oh, that was a week. 1 week. Yeah, I had no shot. The rider clopping down the winding trail looked small enough, with his bushy, russet beard and fierce gray eyes. His build is muscular, but lean rather than heavy. The build of a predator who lived lean and eats only what he kills. And his friends, all of his friends, flanking him and riding ahead are a dozen mercenaries, Mauranians or local Askians by the look of their tan and builds. Rolling behind, guarded closely by 2 mercenaries, is a huge covered caravan. The picture I am confronted with is exactly like a legitimate trader. I would have been fooled if I hadn't been warned beforehand about the human contents of that ghastly caravan. Bold of him. to hide himself in the open, pretending to be just another prosperous merchant, peddling his wares by sea. No one who sees this will suspect him of anything as shady as slave trading. Careful, too. Traveling incognito means he would have to cut back on escorts and guards, making himself vulnerable to ambush. This way, however, he can employ all the mercenaries to guard him as he wishes. They might not even know what is inside that huge covered caravan. How in the world am I supposed to ambush all this by myself? I am alone, of course. Although I have asked humbly, the station garrison guards refuse to take direct action without the council's order. Admittedly, I am acting out of my own accord since, of course, there was no time for proper correspondence to get my superior's permission. Oh, council approval. At the very least, the captain of garrison imparted some knowledge with me before my departure. My hard work in Eskia must have convinced them to see me in a more positive light. The captain of the garrison, okay. Imparted theoretical knowledge. Theoretical? Exchanged some moves with me. So I think this is knowledge and this is combat, which we do need more intelligence. So I think I will go knowledge because I need more knowledge. He told me about the different ways of ambush, should I need them. Now I am here facing down the slave trader and his guards. Nothing to do with Eskia. Nothing that will draw the ire of the small pirates of the kingdom in its moment of vulnerability. An agent of the High Council, on an assignment by the High Council, is the impression of this operation must give to the small. Needless to say, neither the regent nor I could have expected the slave dealer to travel with such a strong escort of mercenaries. I don't have time to get help. He'll reach the borders by tonight, and then there's not a chance I can catch him on Marinian territory. Which means I'll have to take him down here, and now. But how? My brows crease as I carefully review the options I have. Oh, okay. How to proceed. Lay traps or attack them. Let's see. I wonder if it would be lay traps would be knowledge, and then attack them would be what's it? Combat. I'm gonna save. I can't save. No, I can. Just a second. Save. There we go. Ba-ching. Okay. I'm gonna say attack them. Because I think it goes on. Yeah. You know. Even if I were a fully trained war mage, I will not have the shadow of a chance in a head-on fight against a dozen armed mercenaries. Probably not. So I will have to be a little more creative if I want to survive this encounter. But what can I do to even the odds? An escort is only as fast as the thing they are escorting, which in this case is clearly the caravan. If I disable the caravan, it should cause enough confusion for me to get the upper hand through a surprise attack. Not to mention, it would prevent the slave trader and his minions from making a getaway, if they want to keep their cargo. That could work. Huh, that was very knowledgeable. I wonder if that was based on knowledge. Or if anything, if it was based on anything. So thinking, I plant a few vials of magically compressed water along the road, withdraw back into the undergrowth and wait. Isn't that setting up traps though? Maybe I'm wrong. Clip clop, clip clop. The sound of shod hooves striking the hard road, the rough speech and rougher laughter of mercenaries drift to me on the breeze. Soon the Saval and his guards come in sight, arguing with each other, roaring boisterously, not a shadow of suspicion something is amiss. Good. As the caravan lumbers past, there is a cracking sound as one of its wheels grinds over the vial hidden along the road. A fountain of water bursts from the shattered glass. That's cool. A fountain. When I think of vial, I think of like a little teeny vial. So it's thinking about it. It's a good image. It's a good. It's a funny image. A little vial with just a river of water coming from it. What is this? Ahead in the vanguard, the Saval swerves his horse around, eyes wide and glaring in furious alarm. Closing my eyes, I will the water spouting from the vial to freeze. Oh, that's cool. The atmosphere cackles, turns cold. The stream of water from the broken vial crystallizes midair, trapping the caravan in a sheath of ice. That's cool. Thankfully, the tent cloth that covers the caravan is thick and sturdy. The trail inside should not suffer from spell, apart from feeling a little chilly. The riders, on the other hand, present an amusing spectacle. They are trying to not fall on the slippery patches of ice that coat the road. Men, we haven't been ambushed. The whining of panicked horses and the confused shouts from their riders draw my attention back to the scene. For now, the mercenaries are disorganized and frightened. This is my window of opportunity to strike. No. The recent thunderstorm which had driven the Saval to land also left plenty of moisture in the surroundings. Closing my eyes once again, I make the water molecules around me draw together and freeze, forming slender spears of ice. They hover, poised and pointing toward the Saval and his escort. Fly. Oh, good thing that my combat succeeded. At my word of command, they hurl toward the mercenaries, cutting the air with the sound of their flight. Still wobbling over what could now be a decent skating rink, the mercenaries have no chance of finding adequate cover from the missiles. The ice spears pierce the flanks of the unarmored mounts, sending half a dozen of them crashing in onto the road. Others impale the riders, toppling them from the saddles. The forest is rent with the screams of beasts and men in agony. As I do not want to risk injuring the trapped children, I had not aimed any of the ice spears at the caravan, which is smart. As a result, 2 mercenaries guarding it are able to emerge from the ambush unscathed. Oh, that sucks. One of them makes a gesture at his employer. A wall of fire immediately bursts out from the ground, shielding the Saval from the spear that flew his way. A magic user, and by the looks of it, quite a strong one too. There they are, towering with rage. The Saval takes a few steps toward me, fingering the battle axe by his side. His horse steps forward and nearly slips on a particularly slippery patch of ice. Oh, that poor horse. Thinking better of it, the Saval twists his horse around and rides away screaming as he does so at the remainder of his escort. Kill them, avenge your fallen comrades. I lunge toward him, but the surviving mercenaries swiftly interpose themselves between us. Oh, you must get past them first. The Saval cries mockingly as he rides away, leaving his grim-faced guards facing me. Though I am confident I can take these 2 on and win. By the time I defeat them, the Saval would have gotten too far away for me to catch. Curses. A violent blast of air slams into me and knocks me onto the ground. Ow. The fall knocks the wind out of my lungs. For a second or two, the world disappears behind a swarm of grainy stars. Blind and gasping for breath, I struggle back onto my feet, blinking frantically to try clearing away the dots from my sight. I do so just in time to see, and dodge, multiple wiggly sharp shards of ice flying in my direction. Also, they can use water magic too? Or water element, sorry, not magic. Well, magic. They impale deep into the ground where I had been a heartbeat ago. Another incoming. I conjure up a small vortex of flame in front of me, melting the ice into harmless steam and water. But even then, 2 spellcasters are inching forward, their eyes fierce and predatory. It is obvious they are war mages, trained in battle magic and veterans of many fights. Against them, someone who powers of magic are inclined more to the academic side like myself, can only expect a hard and desperate fight. I nerve myself for the duel, trying to think of the best counterspell to throw. Then, in an instant, unearthly light shines on the ground underneath me. A large glowing circle forms, enclosing the 2 mercenaries and I within the circumference. Dragon's breath. A quiet voice calls somewhere from the shadows. Recollection hits me like a hammer blow. I know who the voice belongs to. More importantly, I remember what the glowing circle does. Without a moment hesitation, I leap out of the boundary of light, just in time. Rolling smoke rises from the ground, twisting around the mercenaries, making them choke and pant for air. I observe them keenly, knowing the symptoms too well. One of them, probably the stronger one, tries to cast something to dispel the magic, but to no avail. His comrade now joins in, but he too finds his magic failing him. Everyone inside the circle of Dragon's Breath have their magical powers sealed. A most useful piece of magic, though also most orthodox, deviant, in fact, in nature. Smirking in triumph, I summon up the strongest gust of wind I can, and direct them at the helplessly flailing mercenaries. It slams them to the ground, knocking them unconscious. Soon, their twitching bodies subside and become motionless. They are not dead, but they should be hurting for quite a long while. Something they richly deserve. Well done. I hear soft footsteps padding up to my back and turn around, a broad grin on my face. Nari! Calm eyes look back at me, and a slow, familiar voice drawls. Hello, Lily. What are you doing here? Neri smiles gently for once. Shall we take care of the children first? We saved the children. Once back in the palace, Nuri and I delivered the captive children of the slaver to the Lord again, who thanked both of us for the help and promised to take care of them. Afterwards, we head up to my study. Thanks for helping me out there, I say as I stir my cup of tea, knowing Nuri too well to expect a gracious reply. The High Council sent me, so I would have to deal with that traitor anyway. I laugh, remembering the pleasure the old, grumpy, tender-hearted Nuri. What's so funny? It makes me think of back when we were kids. Does it? Yes. You were always getting me out of trouble. Afterward, you would invent beautifully implausible reasons why you didn't actually do anything to help me. Not really. It was the truth. I'm older, so I was responsible for you, not helping you. My babysitter. Nari's lips twitch very slightly and become a straight line again. I wouldn't go that far. I would. I take an appreciative sip of tea, closing my eyes in pleasure as its delicate fragrance. What brings you to this little corner of the world? Bounty hunting. Who's so scary? Yours. That Sval. Is that so? Under the order of the High Council? What else? Why does the council want that Sval? Not him particularly, but he has something they want. One of the captive children, then? Yes. I lean forward, starting to feel perturbed. Look, Neri, you had better tell me the whole story. A mere Sval slave trader should not be enough for them to dispatch such a high-ranking member like you, a garrison executive. If the council has an interest in Eskia beyond the mission they have signed to me, and that mission is guarding the royal succession, I think it's better I know about it. You just haven't asked the right questions. Why does the council want a captive child of the slaver Neri? Because he may be Rosencruz. I bolt upright. Neri looks at me and slightly nods. Confirmed? No, rumors of petal markings about the neck. Sval thought it made the child pretty and made a point of showing it off. Hopes to drive up the price. I run a finger around my own birthmarks, which have been again pricking uneasily. He doesn't know the significance of those markings. No, he shouldn't show them off if he recognized them. He wouldn't show them off if he recognized them. But someone else might. The council fears someone does already. They want the slaver silenced one way or another, and the child in their custody. The slaver got away, but at least all the children. My voice trails off when Neri sadly shakes his head. Not all of them. You didn't find the child? Not in this shipment. The Sval has too. Curse it. Neri smiles and pats my head. So, what are we going to do? You are going to guard the royal succession, and I'm going after the Sval for the second shipment. If you need help, I have my job. You have yours. All the same, we work well together, don't we? Your family and mine? Of course, we have a long history. No, I mean you and me. We have a long history, too. The very faintest blush colors Neri's cheeks. Oh, that's so cute. I always do my job, and you always do yours. That's all. Then why do you always appear to help me out when I need it most? It's my mission. It's not like I'm concerned for you. Right, you're not. Right. Okay. You still got little pink cheeks. Despite myself, a flicker of something must have shown on my face, because Neri, after he stands up, adds a little hauntingly, although my family wants to tell you, every one of us, DeVries, will always stand behind you. Knowing from experience that's the most I can draw from him at one sitting, I stand up. Shake hands? Gladly. We clasp hands and gaze into each other's eyes for a moment. The moment conveyed more than a million words, especially with Neri ever could hope to. I wonder if you can romance him. I feel almost overwhelmed, knowing I have someone backing me up, someone who knows about the secret of the Rosencruz, someone I don't have to guard against. Then, without a backward glance, Neri turns around and strides out of the room. Grimoire updated. Well, that should be everything I have to cover on this subject. Do you have any questions for me? Any parts you would like me to go over once more? Oh yeah, we haven't even seen the princess yet. This is, I think, week third. This is 32, right? Or 31. Huh. Up here at my audience, the three princes sitting in front of me. Prince Orleus simply stares at my desk as if trying to burn a hole into it, while Prince Soren gives a slight shake of his head and a polite smile. Prince Nazir, meanwhile, shrugs and shoots me a buoyant grin. I'm inclined to believe it means he completely, unequivocally understands everything I've said so far instead of the usual polite but distracting meaning. Wonderful. Let's move on then. If you would please turn to page 300 of your books. The sound of flipping pages fills the room. With the prince's focus elsewhere, I take the opportunity to discreetly brush my palm against my arm in an attempt to soothe the itch, but it's useless. I mentally berate myself again for failing to notice the injury until late yesterday evening. While I managed to get it under control with whatever healing salves I had on hand, the delay in treatment has caused it to worsen. Now the prickling sensation is really starting to bother me. I rub my arm again, a bit more vigorously this time, but try resisting the urge to scratch it in case that makes things worse. Lily? Snapping to attention, I immediately let my arms fall to my side and look at Prince Seren. Yes, Your Highness? Did you have a question? There's a small crease between his brows. His gaze darts to my left arm, but quickly returns to mine. Is everything alright? I open my eyes to say that I'm fine. But I quickly realized Prince Seren would be able to see right through that, either because of his light magic or because it's obvious I'm not. The most I can do is give him a reassuring smile and hope he drops the subject. Sure enough, however, he doesn't. I don't want to pry, but if you're not feeling well, perhaps you should see Sala? She's well versed in water magic and should be able to help. No, it's nothing that's pressing. Thank you for your concern, though. Oh, you're feeling unwell, Lily. Maybe you should go get it looked at. Right this second, in fact. You're just trying to get out of work. Your Highness, are you saying that out of concern for my well-being or because you want the lesson to come to an end early? He grins at me without a hint of shame. Both. The corners of Prince Seren's lips twitch upwards, but when he turns his attention back to me, his eyes are serious and piercing. I insist, the lesson can wait for another day. I stare back at Seren, noting the thinly veiled worry written across his face. I can't help but soften at the sight, and I sigh. I have to admit, I'm somewhat relieved at the idea of being able to rest sooner rather than later. I still haven't fully recovered from all the yesterday's excitement. Very well. I'll look for Sala. Thank you, Lily. No, I should be the one thanking you. In any case, class is dismissed for the day. I'll see you tomorrow. I smile at the princess before gathering my books and leaving the room. Before I can go look for Sala, however, Seren stops me in the corridor. Lily? Your Highness? I just wanted to apologize to you. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have to place yourself in danger and get hurt like that. Not at all. We both know you couldn't have confronted the Saval due to political reasons, and I was the one who agreed to help. Besides, it's nothing serious. Prince Seren's face is filled with genuine concern and sorrow, but he doesn't pursue the topic. I give him my most reassuring smile and a nod. Even with my reassurances, he insistently leads me off to find Sala, personally making me sure that I get immediate treatment. Ooh, week 32. Okay. I think one more week should do it. I guess we don't really need to do any of these. So, oh wait. I have a feeling we're gonna have to do that. So, 50 light, darkness, water, which I think is Orleus, right? Or 110 dark, 118 water, 36 light. I already forgot what I needed. 50 light, darkness, water. Okay. Darkness, water. 110 for each, right? Yeah, 50 light. Okay, we're just gonna do light. for Orleus. Hopefully I can get that done. And charisma, oh, how much charisma do I have? 57. Beauty? Do I need beauty? Or etiquette? Maybe etiquette? Let's do both beauty and etiquette. I think I need etiquette more. Or maybe leadership too. I'll do all three. Leadership, etiquette, beauty. Seren. Yeah, gonna stick with light. Fire, yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. We need more light. And, oh, he's already full of, fire. Let's do wood. Yeah, let's do wood. And then we're doing that for, okay. Nazir, gonna do wood. You're all capped out on fire. Okay. Awesome. Hopefully we can get 50. 6, 7, 8. Which would leave, was it light? 44. You need 6 more. Okay. Farewell then, Nuri. Okay. The day breaks over the city walls behind Nuri. The rising sun shrouds his outline in a brilliant halo and throws his face in deep shadow. The Lord Regent, who doesn't know the true reason for Nuri's presence, claps my old friend heartily on the shoulder. Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself. Yes, sir, thank you. And you're sure I can't come along with? I asked teasingly, knowing without a doubt that the answer will be, leave the slaver to me. Your mission is with the princess. I'm glad the High Council is sending you to deal with this. The Lord Regent chooses his words carefully. I can see he is given the question of Nuri's presence. As an executive of the High Council and no mean mage in his own right, more than some thought. The Saval is evidently much better guarded than the Lady Gabrielle has been led to believe. I was surprised as well, considering the illicit nature of his errand, that he would surround himself with something as conspicuous as a mercenary band. No one could tell with slave traders. If the Lord Regent thought he can fish for information of Nuri's poker face, he would soon be disabused of this hope. True, and we are very grateful to have you here with this, to deal with this trouble. I have no doubt Lily could deal with this capably. Here I nearly stumble and step forward when the Regent slaps my back. But the princess keep her busy, and besides, we are shortchanged on manpower just at present. Happy to help out, sir. Be safe, Nuri. I will. You also, Lily. Nuri salutes us stiffly, correct and professional to the last moment. Then he mounts up his horse and rides it into the sunrise, his shadow stretching far behind him. There goes our young paladin. There is a melancholic smile on the Regent's face. Nuri is the most responsible, most dutiful person I know. And a good friend, no doubt. The very best there ever was. That is good. Without a true friend, a man must surely perish, in the spirit if not in the flesh. Nuri is nearly out of sight, a little galloping speck in the distance of the city. People say that you are becoming good friends with my nephews, especially with Seren. I pause, unsure where the Lord Regent is intending to go with this line of questioning. People, not the nobles, I hope. Anything coming from gossipy nobles cannot be good. No, nothing like that. Recently, I had a heartfelt talk with Raphael, who was chiding me for not taking proper care of my health in actuality, and he told me such. Oh, we haven't seen Raphael either, have we? I gave a relieved sigh and nod. I see. Soren is a studious student. He never fails to apply himself diligently to work, and he can always be counted on to have a solid grasp of what has been taught after each class. And if I may be so bold, talking to a knowledgeable person like him is very enjoyable. And teasing him even more so, but I better keep this thought to myself. My heart rejoices to hear you say that. Soren, that child, he has been emotionally repressed ever since young. He admired his father a lot and always strived to become a worthy heir, even at the expense of his own desires. Prince Soren truly cares more about others than about himself, maybe too much sometimes. Just so. Aside of his brothers, he didn't make any friends, so if he would see you like one, I could truly be relieved. The Lord Regent turns out around at last, and so do I. Side by side in silence, we climb up their stairs leading back to the palace. The open-air market is abuzz with hawkers and vendors, and the stalls complete with one another in an eye-catching they are. In how eye-catching they are. It is perfect day. The sun is out, but a light breeze keeps the temperature manageable. I think this is my favorite background song. It is a perfect day. Oh, I read that. Where is she? Oh, it's week 33. I forgot about that. I scanned the crown for the 10-tailed violet of Miss Belmont's dress, all the while wondering why we couldn't have simply met at the Merchants Guild. I'll never find her here. I shouldn't have been surprised when Miss Belmont asked me for a favor mere days after meeting me. I had, after all, made the mistake of telling her I was at her service, and it seems she plans on taking advantage of that. She knew I couldn't enchant cloth. Her instructions had been very exact, like ordering from a tailor, down to the cut, the color, and the texture. But above all else, it must be sturdy, she written. What she hadn't mentioned was any kind of budget. At first, there was little for me to do. Cutting and dyeing the cloth she sent has been no problem, and the tailors at court were more than happy to help. Enchanting it is an entirely separate process, however. Oh yeah, I already knew that. I hold the finished article, wrapped in paper, as close to me as possible while I navigate the market. I could just drop it off at the guild and be done with it. Although, to be honest, I wanted to see the expression of Miss Belmont's face when she receives it. That is when I see her, or at least I think I do. There's a spot of purple amid all the dull browns and grays. I push through to set a stance to get closer. Each stall is full of flowers: roses, tulips, lilies, marigolds, daisy, and peonies. Or is it just ponies? The purple I saw was, in fact, a glorious big bouquet of lavender blossoms. Ooh. I love lavender. I let out a disappointed sigh. Lady Rosencrantz? At long last. She is so pretty. I like the hair color. Viola straightens up, appearing as if by magic from among the flowers. My expression makes her laugh. I bow quickly to hide my blush. Lady Belmont, I've been looking for you. Lady, huh? Do you know something I don't? I blink at her, confused until I finally realize my mistake. She may represent the Merchants Guild, but she won't be of noble standing unless she marries into it. She laughs again, making a show of peering behind me. Are you perchance hiding a noble suitor asking for my hand in marriage? What a thoughtful gift. I clear my throat, feeling my cheeks redden with embarrassment. In my defense, she is much more finely dressed than most noble women at court. My apologies, Miss Bellamont. She feigns a pout. No suitor? Oh well, perhaps you've brought me something else. She smiles and reaches for a wrapped package I'm carrying. I hand it to her without protest. She smiles and reaches for the wrapped package I'm carrying. I hand it to her without protest. As she carefully undoes the paper, the enchanted cloth catches the sunlight. People around us stop and stare. It does look beautiful. Like a gold? If that's the color. Anyways. The flower sellers frown as attention is drawn away from their wares. Viola's eyes light up. Beautiful and sturdy, just as you requested. It will neither wear nor tear, and no matter the length of the journey, the colors will remain vibrant. She folds the cloth over her arm and feels the fabric, nodding to herself in approval. Then Viola reaches into her belt and, to my surprise, brings out a rich blade that she flicks open in a single elegant motion. Before I can stop her, she attempts to push the tip of the blade through the cloth, and nothing happens. Evidently satisfied, she folds the weapon upon and makes it disappear into her clothes. She looks up at me, her smile as calculating as it is pleased. Quality product, can you make more? Yes, the process is... She looks excited, and I quickly realize that I am on the cusp of making another mistake. I shake my head. It is very, very, very expensive and time-consuming and difficult. For a moment, she seems to be considering it nonetheless. As she does, her fingers gently caress the fabric. She would happily turn me into a full-time enchanter if she could. Finally, she shrugs. A luxury product, then. My favorite kind. Thank you, Lady Rosencruz. Of course, it's my pleasure. I look at the ground, hands behind my back, unsure of what to do next. Viola turns back to the flowers and picks a bright pink specimen from the table. The flower seller doesn't even seem to consider charging her for it. She tucks it into my vest with a little smile, patting it in place like a builder might pat the border on a brick. For your trouble. Thank you. See, we match. Look, we got purple. So cute. Thank you. She looks at me up and down, one finger pressed contemplatively to her lip. Then she nods. You'll do just fine. With those words, she turns and leaves, the enchanted fabric neatly folded and tucked under her arm. Soon she disappears into the throng of people, which seems to part for her like water before a fish. The pink flower scent fills my nose and I pull it from my vest. I look at the petals, unsure of what to make of them. Either way, I have a feeling Viola Belmont will be back for more. Yay! My weekly money thing is more. The grand doors swing open with a simple push of my hands. As soon as I step out onto the pathway that leads to the palace gardens, the muffled noises begin to grow much clearer. However, I can only make out the sounds of a few voices, far too deep to belong to any young child. I can't help but frown at the lack of any chattering or laughter, and my pace quickens in concern. Turning the corner, I find a group of children huddling together. I vaguely recognize some of the faces from the caravan, now looking much cleaner and less of the worrying shade of paleness. But the looks of fear and trepidation have yet to leave their eyes. Surrounding the group of more familiar faces of servants and guards, with even Prince Serin among them, they are crowded low in front of the children, murmuring what I assume to be words of reassurances. Soren is the first to notice my arrival, and he looks up from the little girl he was gently speaking to, his gaze landing on me with a hint of surprise. He then starts making his way towards me, and I let my footsteps slow, waiting for him to approach. Good afternoon, Lily. It's good to see you, Your Highness. Are you here to visit the children? Indeed, I found myself with a bit of free time on my hands. How are they faring after the ordeal? Soren gestures at the scene behind us with a soft sigh. Not well, I'm afraid. As you can see, they are still quite shaken from the traumatic experiences. I, Raphael, and other volunteers have been attempting to soothe them. Physically, they have recovered, but they are still wary and refusing to speak. I see that would make it difficult to obtain information about their identities. The frown lining Soren's forehead deepens, and I can sense the agitation boiling under the surface as he nods. After all that these poor children have gone through, I know they are terrified. I want nothing more than to send them back home into their parents' embraces, but... Soren pauses, his voice trailing off into a sigh, and then his lips quirk up into a rueful smile. I am sorry I should not burden you with this. Not at all. I'm glad you are sharing your troubles so honestly. I shoot a glance at the children ahead of us, pursing my lips in thoughtfulness. May I try to speak though to them? Soren's eyes brighten as he nods. Of course you may. After all, you're the one who rescued them from the slave traders in the first place. Perhaps they will find it easier to speak to you. Soren smiles, and I return it with a nod. He falls into step next to me, and we draw closer to the little ones. Charisma success, yes. I let a bright, cheerful smile spread across my face as I come to a halt, making sure to keep just enough distance between myself and the children so that I wouldn't scare them into fleeing the scene. They watch me attentively. Some clearly recognize me as the one who freed them. Lowering myself into a crouch, I look one of the little girls in the eyes and beam at her with warmth. Good day, my pretty fair lady. I'm positively envious of the way your hair shines in the sunlight, and the color highlights your brilliant eyes so well. The little girl, who was half hiding behind her companion beside her, pokes her head out further. Her eyes brighten, almost glittering with delight, and she flashes me a toothy grin. Encouraged by the response, I turn to the boy next to her. And you, my dashing sir, you have an air of refinement about you that reminds me of a dignified gentleman. Your parents must have raised you very well. The boy lifts his head to look at me, biting his lip. In fact, all of you look to be such well-behaved children. Oh, I did not mean that. You must all come from wonderful families that I'm sure you can't wait to return to. Am I right? Oh, gosh dang it. There's a stir in the crowd, and I spot more than a few almost instinctive nods. Well, fear not. We're here to help. I grin widely at them, hoping to appear as harmless and reassuring as possible, but many only shoot me looks of doubt. It clearly will take more than this to earn their trust after what they've gone through, but I don't let them discourage me. Do you know where you are? You're in the royal palace of Eskia. This gentleman next to me is actually the crown prince, Prince Soren. I notice more than a few pairs of eyes widen in surprise and awe. And I gesture towards Soren, who understands the hint and immediately crouches beside me with a gentle smile. Good afternoon. And do you know what princes do? They help people. He and the rest of us here will help you get back home. So tell us your names and what you remember about your family. Another stir runs through the group of children. It is then that I notice all of them seem to be inching towards one boy standing at the front of the crowd, as though waiting to see his reaction. From his facial features and the fact that he's almost a head taller than the others, he may be the oldest one. Judged by the way the children regard him with reliance and trust, it isn't difficult to guess that he's the leader among them, perhaps the one taking care of the rest due to his age. Realized it would make our jobs much easier if we could gain the trust of this one little boy. I give him a smile. He blinks, looking slightly caught off guard, and then twists his face away, but his rigid frame softens just the slightest. Finally, a little girl standing beside the boy breaks the silence, tugging on his sleeve with a questioning look. Quill? The unspoken question is understood by all, and I watch this bated breath for Quill's response. He hesitates for a split second before giving a curt nod of his head. As if that was the permission they were waiting for, the children let out a collective breath of relief. I sense the atmosphere change, as well as the looks on the children's faces becoming much more welcoming and less standoffish. Your name is Quill? I'm Lily. It's nice to meet ya. He pauses and dips his head in a nod again, still without a word. I take a moment to look over the kid, thin with tousled hair, a darker tan than the rest of the children. The scar on his cheek and the purple bruises his tunic can't hide speak of stories better forgotten. My heart aches. Do you remember where your home is? The names of parents and family? Quill stiffens, sorrow crossing his face briefly as he lowers his head. Immediately realizing I must have asked something I shouldn't, I bite my lip in regret. But before I can apologize to change the subject, Quill finally speaks for the first time. No, worry about the others first. He keeps his gaze on the ground, refusing to meet my eyes. At that, a small girl steps out from the group of people walking straight towards Seren and me. I'm Michelina? You can call me Lena. You said you can get us home, really? Yes, of course. I will personally see to it that all of you are returned safely to your families. Really? Really? Not lying to us? A soft, amused smile crosses Seren's face, and he nods with solemnness, pressing a hand to his chest. Yes, I swear to you. The children seem to be able to hear this sincerity in Seren's voice. Finally convinced, they begin rushing up to us, circling Seren and me. In their excitement, they begin talking over one another, eagerly telling about their families and homes that they've missed. Over the heads of the children, I see that Quill has yet to step forward. He watches the others intently, reaching out to catch a little boy from tripping over his own feet as he rushes towards Seren. As though feeling my gaze on him, Quill turns to look at me, caution and maturity beyond his years lighting his face. It's evident he has yet to let down his guard, but I appreciate his subtle help in getting the children to trust us, so I flash him a grateful smile. He blinks and then twists his face away without a word. Meanwhile, Seren manages to convince the children to calm down and line up in a row. Servants and guards approach to gently ask and note down information. With this new turn of events and the problem effectively solved, for the time being, I decide to leave Seren and the servants to the task. Nodding at the prince with a smile, I make my way out of the gardens, back to the books waiting for me in the study. My dear Lily, have I mentioned that you're looking particularly radiant today? A chuckle escapes my lips. I can't help it. I turn around and give Prince Nazir an elaborate bow. Your Highness, which tavern cellar have you set on fire this time? He shoots me a winning expression before lamenting, accusing poor gentle Nazir of a misdeed, and after a compliment like that, shame on you, Lily. So, there's no fire? Not this time. All's well at the White Hart. But there is an unrelated issue. Master Kabir's caught himself a cold, you see. Did he? Please, give him my best. I'm sure he'd be delighted having an endearing chap like you worrying about him. But why not give him more than kind words? Perhaps you could make a portion of herbal soup for him, and enchant it with a little bit of magic. He'll do better before he knows it. What do you think? I pause in contemplation, while the dish will certainly nurse Master Kabir back to health in no time at all. I never thought Prince would show such concern for a commoner. Granted, it is Prince Nazir, and it is for his favorite tavern. But if the nobles or Harris catch word of this, I'm sure he'll both be in serious trouble. We'll both be in serious trouble. Oh yeah, except. Why wouldn't I? It doesn't matter, the nobles will probably gossip regardless of what choice I make. Alright, I'll take care of it. Splendid, I just knew I could count on you. Oh, Issa uses fire magic, by the way, so he could be able to burn through his illness very quickly. I'm sorry to ask, but could you be a dear and have the soup ready as soon as possible? Immediately? No time like the present. I can't help but give a defeated sigh. When it passes, though, I smile at Prince's ear. Alright. Oh, can I even make the soup? Alchemy? I can. Okay, well, I might as well do that. Week 30. Oh, next week. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna save. And I think that will be it. As you know, that I would do more, but my voice hurts now. Let's see, return. Yeah. We did 30, 31, 32. We did 3 weeks. So that's pretty good. I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. I don't know where.